What's going on, everybody? This is Al from NCAA 06 Revival, and as you may have guessed it, I have decided to go with Indiana. First of all, I want to thank to all of you who gave me some really good feedback. I had close to 70 comments as of the time I done this video, and a lot of good responses on why I should pick either team. But I've decided to go with Indiana, and I'll tell you why. There was a few reasons. One is I think the schedule is going to be a whole lot more fun. It's going to be tougher. So I'm going to face against big teams all the time. Another thing is, if you think about it, if you take over a non-Power 5 school and you get an invite 4 years later, 5 years later, you're going to have a pretty good team by the time you enter that conference. Indiana's C+ overall out of the gate. I guarantee you, if I took over San Jose State and got invited to the Pac-10, I probably would have been like a B+ type of program. So by the time I got into the Pac-10, I'd be pretty solid and I could compete for the conference championship right out of the gate. Here, I can't do that with Indiana. I just don't have the talent. It's just going to be a complete rebuild. A third thing is, it's very possible I could have been stuck in the WAC all those years. And a fourth thing, and it kind of goes back to the scheduling, with San Jose State, if I'm 4 or 5 years in, I can beef up my non-conference schedule as much as I can. But a lot of those games are going to be snooze fest, real blowout games. Of course, I'm sure I put in a stinker game here and there. But just overall, I enjoyed the reasons to go with Indiana, a la a Power 5 bottom feeder over a non-Power 5 school. Also, it gives me a chance to recruit some pretty decent talent out of the gate, so it should be a lot of fun. And the final reason is the offense that I'm going to roll with is the air raid offense. It's going to be the full-blown version of the air raid offense. A lot of it's going to be the Hal Mummy version. The air raid offense only focused on a few formations. I'm going to have 9 at my disposal. This is going to be more of a flexible air raid in terms of how it could be adaptable to your personnel. And if you go back and watch any of the 1990s Kentucky teams when Hal Mummy was there, he ran all kinds of formations. But the overall scheme of the offense is to throw it short to your playmakers so they can do their business. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You know me, I'm at my happiest when I'm throwing the ball. So you're going to see a ton of awesome plays, passing concepts that you may not have tried before, where you could take that, learn from the videos, and apply them to your own offenses. So with that being said, let's get this show on the road with Indiana. 0-4 record was 3-8. We're going to try to improve that right out of the gate. First, I want to edit the coach. Got to put in my stuff here. I'm going to keep this the same as I always have been. Light, I'm a blonde, and I want to go with the mullet. Not every day you get to have a mullet. Somebody needs to bring that back, by the way. Some big-time celebrity. Young, glasses, no. Body small, yes. Okay. So like I said, we're going to run the full-blown air raid, and at the end of the video, I'll break down the offense in terms of the playbook, so you kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. They're going to have a lot of fun with this. And in the previous video, I mentioned I was going to run a West Coast offense. Well, the air raid offense is a West Coast offense. It's just more extreme in terms of the passing. And you're going to see a lot of the West Coast stuff that I was mentioning in the previous video. So you're going to see a whole blend of West Coast, air raid, the Lavelle Edwards back in the BYU days in the 80s, Hal Mummy, Leach, all of it. So it should be a lot of fun. Okay, first thing we want to do, let's go to Coach Options. Let's get this stuff out of the way. Now, this is the simulation stuff, so it really doesn't matter what I do here. But I always like to set it and pretend that I'm going to do what I set out to do offensively and defensively. We'll do Texas Tech for the playbook, even though I'm going to use my own. Spread offense, without a doubt. I'm just going to have more receivers on the field than usual. I'm a 4-down lineman guy. I'll always stick to the 4-3. I just like it a lot. Again, this is all simulation. I'll never sim a game. But I like to do it, get this stuff set up just for my own peace of mind. Defense, I'll just do a 50-50. Like I said, that doesn't really matter. We'll go here and here. And make sure you turn these off. Recruiting assistants and discipline assistants, you want to make all the decisions yourself. Let's go to report card. Congratulations to me, the new coach at IU. Beat Purdue and beat Iowa and receive a bowl bid. Try our hardest to do that within the first 3 years. Now we want to go to preseason options. Schedule. Okay, let's look here. I am locked in all this point right here, which is going to be tough for recruiting. I was hoping I'd find a slot right in through here where I could play a cupcake team and maybe get a commitment or two off of that. But if you look at my home schedule, man, this schedule's brutal. Let's just break the whole thing down as is. Of course, I'm going to change these three up a little bit. Just the conference schedule. At Wisconsin, they're not even ranked in this game, but they're still pretty good. At Iowa, number 12 Ohio State. At Michigan State, Minnesota. This may be the only game where I can maybe get a commitment or two. At Michigan, Purdue at home. I mean, what do you do? Recruiting is going to be interesting in the regular season, to say the least. I don't know how I'm going to pull that off, but we're going to try. So with that being said, I want to schedule, I don't know if I could get one down this late, but I'm not going to schedule anybody past Purdue. I don't know my Indiana/Purdue tradition. I assume they play each other at the end of the season every year, so I'm going to leave that as is. I'm not going to add somebody at week 14. So I'm probably leave this at an 11-game schedule just because I just don't see a slot anywhere where I can put in a cupcake. I want to make Kentucky a rivalry because I want to make Kentucky a pipeline state, so I'm going to leave that as is. These other two teams, I would rather... Man, I'd love the... There's just nobody going to be able to visit by week 5. They just won't be ready by then. Okay, I want to also play Ball State. I don't want to play Nicholls State. Let's see if we can change this to Ball State. Ball State is an Indiana school. And they are not on there. Let me see if I can do it here. Ball State. Let's start out with Ball State at home. Let's do an away game here. Somewhat local-ish, but not ranked. I have enough teams that are ranked on the schedule. Like, I could play Notre Dame. That's an Indiana school, but I really don't want to. Let's go at... Pittsburgh. I mean, I'm not going to recruit Pennsylvania. We'll get into recruiting later, but I want to pick somebody somewhat close. SMU, Syracuse, Temple. I may just go with Ohio. And I need to do that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. We're such a bottom feeder, terrible team. Going to Ohio is not that big of a deal. So let me make sure I have at least evened up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 and 6, that's fine. I'm okay with that. So that schedule's pretty tough. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, the Big Ten is just ridiculous in this game out of the gate. So it should be a lot of fun. Hopefully we can pick up a few wins before we head into the gauntlet of the Big Ten schedule. We're going to keep that schedule. We're going to go to red shirt. Now, I'm going to run the air raid offense. Yes, I'm going to recruit a lot of receivers and all that good stuff, but I'm also going to go after tight ends, halfbacks that can catch out of the backfield. We'll get all that into the recruiting a little bit later. But for now, since I'm going to sling the ball a lot, I do have a tad bit of depth here. But before we go to the quarterbacks and the positions, just to look at the roster in general, I have 19 seniors on a 63-team roster. So that first year, it's going to be heavy recruiting. I have, it appears, about 10 guys in the 80s. Actually, quite a few in the 80s, but a lot of these guys are seniors and juniors. A lot of upperclassmen. Just not a very good team overall. So let's break down each position when we redshirt. Okay, I got two pretty good quarterbacks right here that are serviceable, 80 and 78. One I can redshirt, the other one's a junior. It's in my best interest to redshirt the one that I can redshirt. You'll notice here McFarland doesn't have the accuracy like Powers does, But this gives me a little bit of separation between the two once McFarland finally leaves. Now, if McFarland plays terrible in the first game or so, I may have to take the red shirt off of Powers and just roll with him for a couple years. But for now, I'm going to redshirt Powers. Here's a sophomore, 68 overall. Power is okay, but the accuracy is just not there at all. But I could still redshirt him. So if McFarland gets hurt badly, I can survive a play or two with Gregory until I can find out how bad that injury is. But hopefully he never gets injured. So hopefully McFarland can play all season for me and put up big numbers. Halfback, okay. I'm going to run a lot of two-back system type stuff. Hal Mummy ran a lot of that, two halfbacks in the backfield, going on swing passes and screens and whatnot. So I need a lot of depth here. Well, the good news is I got a bunch of halfbacks, and every single one of them can catch a little bit. 65 is actually not bad for catch rating for a halfback. I already have a stud here in Yamar Washington. He's an impact guy, senior. He's going to be doing a lot of stuff for me this season. I have a senior right here. He's also going to, I'm not going to redshirt him. He's 62 catch. What I plan on doing is, I got a backup that's already redshirted, but look at these bottom three. 3 freshmen. I'm going to redshirt every single one of them. This is going to help me not have to bother going after halfbacks for a few years. Halfbacks is going to probably be the one struggle position when it comes to recruiting, because even though my halfbacks are going to catch the ball a lot, they're not going to run the ball much. So I don't know how many halfbacks are going to be craving to come to Indiana. But at least all 3 of these guys can run, 91 speed on all of them, and they all have 65 on the catch. So redshirt all of them, and these 3 guys will help me out this season. Fullback, you're not going to see the fullback any in this offense. Like I said, I'm going to run a 2 halfback system, so we're going to use that sub package everywhere. And he's a junior, so I don't have to recruit anybody here for another year or so. Wide receiver, here's where it's going to be a struggle. I need some wide receivers badly, but look at the talent. 80, 72, and just downhill after that. Not a lot of depth at wide receiver. Now, you may be thinking, Al, this is going to be real tough for you with the air raid. You need receivers. Yes and no. And again, we'll break that down in the playbook. But for now, Gilmore's my stud wide receiver. He's going to get the ball a lot. I will redshirt this kid right here, Lance Bennett. I don't think I'll be needing him this year. Tight end. Here's a bit of a strength. I got 2 guys that are halfway decent. 80 and 74 overall. 70 and 72 speed, that's not the fastest. But both of them can catch pretty well. 78 and 76. So you're going to see me run 2 tight end sets, or just get both of them involved in one way or another. And this Nick Sexton, I don't think I'm related to him. It'd be cool if I was. Tackle, I can't redshirt anybody, so we're all good there. 85, 74, that's serviceable. Problem is, they're both seniors. Guard, I got 4 guys, so I'm not going to redshirt any of them. And besides, this kid right here is 62 overall. It's not worth it. Senior. So I got a bunch of seniors on the line. Junior at my starting center. So as you can tell, my offensive line is going to be heavily recruited on for the next couple years. Now we get onto the defense. I got 2 pretty good guys right here, a junior and a senior. I want to redshirt this freshman. I don't think I'll be needing him. That gives me 2 backups for, I'm not going to say this guy's name, we'll just call him Victor and Kendall. Defensive tackle, it's a bit of a drop-off. There's not much there. 72 at the best. The senior, sophomore, I'm not going to redshirt him. Really not a big fan of redshirting seniors. Outside linebacker, it's a drop-off. There's not much here. 70 and 68. They can run a little bit, and this backup can run a little bit as well. Junior, senior, but I got to keep him out there. I'm not going to redshirt those. Middle linebacker, 1 really good ball player, and a drop-off after that. Another senior. Look at this, senior. Middle linebacker is going to be a priority in recruiting. Corner, here's a bit of a strength. I'm normally a big fan of putting your best 11 players on defense out there majority of the time. And just by looking at the stats, my best 11 is quite possibly the dime package. So you're going to see a lot of dime personnel this particular season. I'm going to 74 and 72, that's not a difference. Now, this kid can really fly at 95 speed. But I'm going to redshirt him just because look at the numbers. I got 4 seniors at corner. So him coming back, provide me just a tad bit of depth. He will definitely start for me next season. But I'm going to go ahead and redshirt him, so these 4 guys will play a lot. I'm also going to redshirt Tracy Porter. I'm still going to have to recruit a couple of corners in the off season, but for now, I think those are 2 good redshirts. Free safety, a junior, 84. He's got to start, and he's got a backup behind him. That's not terrible, but he's okay. Big problem right here, strong safety. I don't know what to do here. I think I just may suffer and just have I may take him over myself. I don't know what to do about that. But just not much going on there. Going to have to recruit a strong safety. Kicker, 84 and 70. I got some depth there as long as this kid doesn't want to transfer. Punter, 80 overall, a junior. I will redshirt this freshman. And that's it. A lot of guys I'm able to redshirt. So my freshman class next year is going to be even bigger with those red shirts. Now, let's go to the roster. Let's go to depth chart. McFarland, Gregory, yes, the other 2 are redshirting. Washington, Taylor, Burns, I'm okay with that. Fullback, that's okay with there. Big drop-off. Like I said, my tight ends are actually better than my receivers outside of Gilmore, so you're going to see a lot more bigger sets. But I want to make sure that these guys, 72, 68, 62 catch at wide receiver. That's terrible. I may move him to corner or something down the road. But he's not going to see the field much this year anyways. But we'll keep it at that for now. I will run a few 3-wide sets. So yeah, I'm okay with that. Catch is super important. Tight end, 80, 74. I'm good there. Left tackle, I'm okay there. Please don't get hurt, souls. Left guard, 78 and 70. 74, 68. 82, 62. 74, 68. Okay, that looks good. Defensive end, I'm okay there. Right end, I'm okay. Defensive tackle, man, that's a drop-off. Big time. But we'll make sure this is all squared away. Kenny Love. Outside linebacker, I'm okay here. He's a little slower than Naaman. But he's got the awareness, and that's more important to me. Middle linebacker, I'm okay there. Outside linebacker, he's got the speed, so I'm okay there. Which number 2 guy do I want? Awareness, speed. That's a tough call. All 4 of these guys are really short, too. But I'm going to run dime a whole lot, so all 4 are going to see plenty of action. Free safety, I'm okay there. I would love to be able to move Mitchell over to strong safety. But I can't. 68 to 65 is not that big of a drop. Myers is at 70 overall here, but he's at 84 at free safety, so I have to keep him there. So I don't know if this means I can't run 4-4. I don't have the linebackers to do it. I think there's no way around this. It's just going to be a struggle right here. So I may control the strong safety and just try my hardest. I don't know. I'm going to lose some games maybe because of this guy, but we'll just have to tough it out and get better talent next year. Kicker, 84-70, yes. Punter, 80-68. I'm okay there. Kickoff return, we'll go with this fresh. This is the kid that can't catch the ball to save his life, but he's super fast. I'm going to have him start right here, and I'm going to go with wide receiver. I want offensive guys, more or less. Gilmore, Burns. Yeah, they can catch the ball a little bit better than corners can. Thick pin, Gilmore, Burns. So let's fix that. Thick pin, Gilmore, Burns. I'm super excited about Thick Pin just because he ain't going to be able to catch the ball hardly any, but he will be able to help me out a little bit on special teams. Kickoff, I'm okay there. Let's just go ahead and put my starting center here and the backup here. Doesn't really matter at long snapper. Let's go to the total roster. Let's just check out who our team captains are going to be. Killian, that's expected, and probably Souls. Yes, I'm okay with those two. Both of them have far and away the best awareness on the team. Now let's go to playbooks. let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. All right, this is I guess my ideal air raid offense. If anybody, or air raid offense, if anybody has read my air raid book, you know I ran a lot of spread, trips, and two-back slot. That's what Mike Leach loves to do. Now, Hal Mummy back in the day just ran a lot of various formations. He ran a lot of weak normal and pro and plenty of split. You're going to see plenty of that this season. But I have a nice array of personnel sets. So, depending on the talent that comes in, I can be more flexible and still run the same stuff over and over again. So for this season, since I have no depth at wide receiver, but I got some decent tight ends, some good halfbacks, you're going to see most of my offense come from these 5 sets. This one, pro twins, weak normal, gun split, and gun two-back slot. And maybe some trips over. I can play 2 tight ends right here. But you're not going to see me hardly run any spread trips for 5 wide. I just don't have the talent for it. So, if you've ever wanted to see some old-school air raid, bigger sets, short passing, this is the season to watch it. I haven't even said my audibles yet. I don't think I'll even use them. I didn't use them hardly in my air raid offense. Okay, let's go to Athlon Sports. Let's just check out kind of where we're at here. I know we're down here pretty far. Probably in the 80s, if I had to guess. Yeah, right at 80. C+ overall. Let's go to Heisman Watch. It's not going to mean much to us unless we get lucky and McFarland or Gilmore can really put up some serious numbers this year. But as your usual, Liner, Peterson, Bush, Vince Young, and Ted Ginn Jr. Preseason All-Americans. We can check the Big Ten here real quick. Let's check the second team. Just making sure we didn't have anybody there that I wasn't aware of. Let's go first team. Do we have anybody on the first team roster? We do not. Hopefully we'll change that. Second team. Nobody. So we are apparently terrible. Conference outlook. We should be at the very bottom, and we are. So we got a lot of work to do. Toughest places to play. Somebody told me in the comment section that if you stick around long enough, you eventually can move your stadium, your team stadium, up on this list. It just may take you forever. So if I stick with Indiana for 10 years or so, maybe I can get on here over time. That would be pretty neat. Okay, I think that's it. Now let's just move on to recruiting. So here's my plan. You know me, when it comes to recruiting local kids, I like to keep it local. It saves your recruiting points so you can use on those guys. So you're not going to see me recruit California kids. If you look at the map of the U.S., Indiana is surrounded by Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, and Kentucky. Those are the main 4 pipeline states I want to hit. On top of, I still want to hit Tennessee. A lot of coaches have the 4-hour rule. If you take a radius of that location of that campus, do a 4-hour radius, 250 miles, give or take, and that's sort of your main recruiting area, and plenty of the state of Tennessee is within 4 hours of Indiana, of Bloomington, Indiana. So I'm going to try to hit Tennessee because, 1, I'm a local Tennessee boy, and 2, there's some good talent in that state. So let's look at these states and see what we are initially working with in terms of pipeline. I bet Florida is a pipeline. No, it's not. That's interesting. A lot of teams have the pipeline of Florida. Illinois, I still want to keep this as a pipeline. Indiana, absolutely, we'll go here first, but let me just check the rest of these states. Kentucky, I'm going to turn into a pipeline. Michigan, yes. And that may be too many pipelines, but I'm going to try it anyways. Keep on going. Ohio, obviously, it's right beside me. And that should be it in terms of pipelines. And that's it. Okay, let's go back to Indiana. Now, I am already in the Big Ten, which allows me to recruit big-time players. Now, I'm a 2-star program. I'm not going to go after 5-star kids from all over the place of my pipelines, except maybe for Indiana. I feel like that seems realistic to me. If Indiana was starting a new program and they really worked hard to try to go after a 5-star local kid, they have a chance. I'm going to treat it as the same way. Now, Indiana doesn't produce much talent, so I'm going to have to go outside the state a whole lot. Since I'm running the air raid offense, This is a good time to talk about this. Since I'm running the air raid offense, Indiana, I'm sorry, I was at Iowa. Iowa doesn't produce much talent. Okay, Indiana. When it comes to the air raid offense, I will not have any problem going after quarterbacks and receivers in the offseason. I'm going to throw the ball an absolute ton. They're going to come flocking to come to my program. Maybe not the best players in the world, but plenty of them. So you're not going to see me recruit quarterbacks and wide receivers all that much. Every other position on the roster is fair game. So with that being said, let's just see what we have here. Halfback is the one, like I said earlier, is the one position I may struggle trying to get because I'm not going to run the ball much. So I'm going to take that as a priority here in the regular season. The good news is I got a ton of halfbacks. I got 4 coming back. So I'm not going to recruit anybody right here, even though this kid right here, Joe Ball, is an ideal player for me outside of I just don't know if he can catch or not. Fullback, I'm not going to worry about it. Wide receiver, a 4-star kid. I kind of want to take a chance on him just because he's a local kid. And it says I need somebody. So I may go ahead and just recruit him and just see if he can catch the ball. So I'm okay with that. Just because he's local, in-state. Now I'm going to take the rest of it pretty serious. You can see tackle, guard. Definitely go after this kid. Awareness, I believe, ties into your pass blocking. I could be dead wrong on that, but I feel like it helps a little bit. And this guy's got A+ awareness. He's from Crawfordsville, Indiana. Let's go after him. Guard, 4-star. I'm going to take a chance on this kid. A-. Center, do I need a center? I kind of don't. He's 3-star, but he's smart. Let's wait. Middle linebacker is a big need for us. But I need speed here. 4'6", 4'5'6". Both of them are really big. I can maybe turn into defensive ends down the road if need be. Let's go after both. This Brooks kid's really strong. I want to own the state of Indiana. We're going to try our hardest to do that. Okay, and that's it for Indiana. I got 7 more left. The rest of them are defensive players. Let's go to Ohio. Ohio's going to be my most important pipeline. Quarterback, I'm not going to bother here. No. Let's go to defensive tackle. 4-star, I'm not going to do it. Don't think I have a chance. Here's a fast defensive end, but he's C-. I don't have any recruiting restrictions, by the way. I'm not doing any academic stuff. Indiana is a pretty good academic school, but it's not Yale. I may go after this kid. I just need to make a mental note. But we'll keep going. Outside linebacker, I need help there because I don't really have much talent there. I still have to have smart players. Field awareness is a big deal to me outside of quarterback. Middle linebacker, I'm okay there. I've already recruited a couple. 4-star, I just don't think it's going to be tough, but I can try. He's got to be the ideal type of player for me. Being a 2-star program, I know you're in the Big Ten conference. It's still going to be a struggle to go after 4- and 5-star kids left and right. This kid's too short to play strong free safety, but nobody has strong safety. So I'm going to keep it here, and let's go to Michigan. 4-star kid, 6'2". This kid's ideal, but I'm going to wait. There may be a 3-star kid that may be like close to that. I may have a better chance on. Let's go to Kentucky. 6'6", 205. He's not smart, but he's got some speed, and he's really tall. 4'4'6". I'm going to go after this kid. This will open up a pipeline for Kentucky down the road. His awareness is terrible, I get that, but I just love everything else about him. Corner. We need help at corner in the worst way. So let's go back to Michigan. 4'3", 5'11". I'd like to have some height here. 4-star, 6'5", 185. Oh my gosh. Let's go to Illinois. 6'1", 435. I'm okay with that. Coverage. Let's go to Tennessee. 4-star. So looks like corner is going to be a bit of a struggle. Let's go back to Ohio. Just make sure I didn't miss anything. A couple 4-star kids. He's got to be ideal in order for me to go after one of them, like this kid right here. I'm going to take a chance on this guy. He's tall, he's fast, and he's smart. We'll do that for corner. And I want to go after that other, was it Kentucky? I want to go after him just because he's so tall and he's got good awareness. We'll take a chance on him. I've recruited the middle linebacker, so a defensive tackle and defensive end. I got 4 left. Let's go to Illinois, 4-star. Let's check Michigan. Nobody there. Ohio. Nobody there. 4-star. That's going to be tough. Tennessee. So, Michigan, Illinois. I've kind of hit everybody. Let's go after this kid. 6'3", 290. He's local. We need depth there. Defensive end. I got 3 left. Let's do defensive end. Let's go to Kentucky. Or, wrong way. Let's go Illinois first. 4-star kid, 6'4", but 4'7", Nobody in Kentucky. Michigan. 4-star, that may be tough. Ohio. Let's go after this. Hey, he's not very, but he's fast. He's so small. Look, he's just 6'5", 215. I'm not going to go after defensive end. I think I could convert a linebacker or two. So let me just go back to my roster real quick and see if I have some guys I can move down there next year. Outside linebacker, like this kid right here, 6'3", 255. 68 speed, that's not very good, but he will never play at linebacker for me. But he's humongous. So I could put him at defensive end. Same with 6, it's kind of short. This kid right here, 78, I could probably play him at defensive end. 78 speed. So I'm not going to recruit a defensive end. I have depth where I can move a couple of these guys over. So let's go back to recruiting and fill up these last 3 spots. Middle linebacker, I've already gone after 2, so I'm okay there. Now, these last 3 spots, let's go for the juggler on some offensive studs. Okay? Quarterback, receiver, halfback, or a quarterback and receiver and tight end. Let's see if we can find somebody that can fit our system. So let's go back to Indiana, make sure I didn't miss anybody locally. I've already gone after this wide receiver. So let's go to Ohio. Let's go to Kentucky first. Quarterback, a 3-star kid. He's a lefty. He can run a little bit too, but I wonder if he's got a decent arm. Let's try him. Kyle Pino. Well, let's wait first. Let me check the other ones. Illinois, no. And let's go to Ohio. Ton of Ohio kids. You never know with some of these if they can. Bo Jones, 6'5". I love to have somebody with some height. He can't run to save his life, but we don't need it. Torian Williams. I'm going to take a chance on about. I got 3 scholarships left. Let's go after 3 quarterbacks and see if one of them really likes us that has a decent arm. Okay. Another 6'3", 211. I'm a lefty, so I'm kind of. I love going after lefty quarterbacks. Let's go after Bo Jones. This kid, let's go after this 6'5", 230. That's a big kid. Let me make sure Tennessee doesn't have a quarterback, and they don't. Let's go back to Illinois. Is that what it is? This kid here, Kyle Pino. Let's go after him. So that's 3 quarterbacks we're going after. Just take a chance, and if one of them really likes us, that provides some great depth. All right, that's all of the scholarships. Now let's go here and let's sim the first week, and then we'll put in our recruiting points, and then stick around. I want to show you some really neat record book stuff that I accidentally stumbled on that I didn't know NCAA 6 kind of kept in terms of stats that you've done over in the past. So I kind of want to show you some of the stuff that I've done over the last, I guess, 10 years or so. All right, let's go to recruiting, and let's see if anybody likes us out of the gate. Let's just do the plus signs first. See if we get lucky with anybody. Not yet. That's it. Okay. Let's go. Okay, we got a corner here. 4-star, really likes us. Let's put 20 here. Tackle, okay. Wide receiver, A- hands. Local kid, 6'1", 190. We got to go after him. Is this a local kid? No, he's Ohio. Okay. Corner. Defensive tackle, kind of low. Middle linebacker. Smart. I'll probably go after him, but I'm going to wait just in case. Let's look at these, the rest of these. Okay, quarterback. Torrin Williams, C, accuracy. I can't do it. Strong safety. I'm at the bottom of that list. That's just, he just doesn't like me much. Quarterback. Bo Jones, C+ accuracy. Just nothing there. It's just, that's not good enough. My guess is this Pino kid. Yeah. Just terrible arm. Just not good enough. He's not even fast either. So none of the quarterbacks worked out. No big deal. But we got 2 middle linebackers that really like what we're seeing here. And both of them are big enough to play defensive end down the road. Let's do this and do another 20 here. Let's go after one more. We'll go after 5 of them. I'll probably go after this this guard. It's one of these 2. Which one I need the most? It looks, I didn't even go after tight end. I completely forgot. That's okay. I'm not too worried about that. Actually, both of my tight ends are coming back next year anyways. Tackle, guard, both of them are terrible. What I can do, we could go after we could do like a 15. Let's go after, let's bring this down a little bit. Let's see if we can get lucky. Let's do 15 to 15. Let's go after 6 guys. Let me make sure 15 here. So I got 10 to play around with. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. Let's go after this wide receiver. Okay, let's go after 6 guys. Maybe we'll get lucky and then like 4 of them. We'll see what happens there. Okay, that's it for the preseason video. Now, I want to show you that record book stuff that I was talking about. Let's go here. Let's go to record book. Now, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but when it comes to Dynasty records, this keeps up with what you done way back in the day. Like, look here. I broke the all-time rushing record in a season with Flowers when I had that UCLA Dynasty back in 2006, way back in the day. Actually, no, that was probably the season year, so I don't remember how many years that was ago. But anyway, crazy numbers there. Georgia Southern Dynasty, that was that first AA Dynasty ever done. Ton of players, or ton of touchdowns there. Passing yards, okay, here's the one I wanted to show you. In the past, I've mentioned briefly about my Kent State Dynasty. That was my last full-blown air raid offense that I ran. I threw the ball every down. And I may do some of that here in this dynasty. But look at here. Mackin, however you want to say his name, I had 6,400 yards passing on 5-minute quarters. I probably had 14 games that season. Just incredible. 6,400 yards. And I didn't even win the Heisman with him. Keep going here. CPU. His teammate, wide receiver, Bell, 2,500 yards. I had a ton of touchdowns with him. He won the Heisman that year. Just an incredible season. I mean, just a lot of passing yards all over the place. So, I suggest you go back and look at some of your old school stuff and see what you've done, because it's easy to forget some of these. Individual career, that Georgia Southern running back, I just done everything with him. Right here, no, this wasn't it. Let's go CPU. Where's it at? I think it's single game records. Individual. Like, Coach, this was my Washington Dynasty back in 2012. Longest run, longest pass in Arkansas Dynasty I apparently done about 5 years ago. This was my Kansas State Dynasty I ran. I can't believe it's been 7 years. A lot of fun there. Longest field goal, 58 yards. You know me, I'm not the best kicker in the world. Texas Tech Dynasty, longest punt return. I ran a Baylor Dynasty. This is right before I started Revival. I ran just like an old school pro style offense. but apparently had a kick return of 107 yards. Zach Barnes, that was the running back I showed you earlier. Let's see, right here. Flowers, again, rushing yards in one game, 457. That's incredible. Receiving yards. I don't remember doing this, but this was 7 years ago. I apparently threw to this Galloway kid, and he had 454 yards receiving in one game. Unbelievable. Keep on going, and I think that's it for the individual. The team, I'm only on here once. I apparently scored 111 points 8 years ago in my Texas Tech Dynasty. The rest of these are CPUs. One of these I may be able to break. Dynasty records. Coaching career. Here's what I wanted to show you. I haven't beat any of these. I just guess I haven't been in a dynasty long enough to do it. I've been real close to the national title. I've done a dynasty with Tennessee way back in the day that I know I won like 4 or 5, so I probably got close. So maybe with Indiana, I could stay here a whole long time, 10 plus years, and maybe break some of this stuff. We'll just see what happens. Maybe the national title one if you're lucky. But this is a longevity. If you want, a long-term goal to have, stick with one team for about 30 years and break all of these. Nothing stopping you from doing it. Just a lot of patience and perseverance. Okay, I thought it'd be fun just to show you all that. All right, that's it. So come on back. Our first game will be Ball State. Hopefully it'll be a good little tune-up. You'll get to see plenty of the air raid offense and kind of get a taste of what it's going to be like. Hopefully we can get by these first 3 games with some wins before we head into the gauntlet that is the Big Ten. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.